there, Muscle of MMA fans. Look who's sitting next to me today. I've got Lex McMahon from Titan Fights. All right, Lex, let's get right to it. You have a big fight coming up. Titan 52 fights this weekend, airing on UFC Fight Pass. Let's talk a little bit about this card to start off with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm excited. It's our first card of the year. We're coming off of having done Titan FC 51 in Almaty, Kazakhstan, which was an incredible experience. And that was about a month ago. So we're hitting it hard to start the new year. Titan 52 is a great, going to be a great night. We've got it headlined by Jason Soares, who is undefeated at 11-0. Amazing fighter out of Freestyle Fighting Academy in Miami. And he's fighting Caio Uruguai, who is an incredibly, he's this very dynamic and high-flying kicks and very exciting Brazilian fighter who fights out of Hard Knocks 365 in Fort Lauderdale. So that's our main event. Super excited about that. I'm actually breaking it with you right now. Leandro Silva, UFC vet, he's going to be coming in and fighting for us this Friday, and I think it's going to be a great fight. You know, definitely the toughest challenge that Tilek has encountered, for sure. And I think it should be great for the Titan fans watching on UFC Fight Pass.
Talk a little bit about the belts that are on the line, because I think you've got a welterweight belt. You were talking about Soares, so let's talk a little bit more about that.
We actually have two belts. So Jason Soares is defending his featherweight title. And then in the co-main event for the bantamweight title, which is vacant, we have Edir Terry is fighting Rudson Caliocane out of Brazil. Also another really exciting fighter. Edir is also one of Jason Soares' teammate out of Freestyle Fighting Academy. He's a Muay Thai guy, very all-around fighter, but really a traditional Muay Thai fighter as his base. And he's added other tools onto the tool belt, over the years. But he's an exciting striker, so I think that's going to be a great fight to see. Two guys with similar records, similarly situated in terms of their skill sets. So it should prove to be a great fight for the fans and another 5-round contest.
For someone who hasn't had the opportunity to turn into Titan Fights, and by the way, folks, that is
why haven't you tuned in?
Because they're crazy. You're right. Why haven't they turned in? Do you consider yourself like the spring training for the next level of fighters when they move up? You have a lot of fighters that have come out of your organization, Diego Lima, Mike Graves, that have moved up and moved back. We
are partners with the UFC in the sense that they stream our content on UFC Fight Pass. We have a very close rapport between myself, Dana White, Sean Shelby, and Mick Maynard over at the UFC. And I've sent over 70 fighters in the past 3 years up to the UFC, and that's not mentioning some of the other fighters that have gone on to Bellator.
Vulcan?
I'm the one who put Vulcan into the UFC. He was supposed to fight for me, and I called the matchmaker, and I said, listen, I know you have an opening. This kid deserves to be in the UFC. I went ahead and made the call because I knew he deserved to be there.
Lex, early in the interview, you mentioned about the success of your international show. Let's talk a little bit more about that fight and how you were so well received overseas, so to speak.
Yeah, no, it was tremendous. I had a great opportunity to take Titan over to Kazakhstan and the city of Almaty, which has a population of 3 million. We were in a venue that was brand new, 2 years old, state-of-the-art facility. And we ended up putting almost 11,000 people in the arena that night to watch an incredible, which was by far the most people that Titans had in an event. So it was exciting to see, and we really, because of the location and the partner we had, working there, we put on a show that was really a different level. It really reminded me a lot of an old Pride show.
Wow!
Our LED backdrops where the fighters walked out were 50 feet tall. I mean, they were amazing, and there's two of them, one on either side of the fighter, and the energy was incredible. The fights were great. They all fought admirably. They showed that they are really at that level of competition, because I made all hard fights. I think we showcased the country of Kazakhstan and its culture and the warrior spirit of its athletes. More than anything, we put on a great show for the fans.
Where else are you thinking about expanding then internationally?
It's something that my partner Jeff Aronson and I have been working on for a while, to identify the markets where the UFC hasn't really gone in there yet, but there's a tremendous excitement for MMA. It's an evolving and developing market. There's a strong economy there. So we're looking for markets that are similar to that, right? There are some other markets throughout the Caucasus and the Eastern Europe area that fit that profile that we're having some ongoing discussions with their governments and third-party partners. And, I also think you could see us going, into a place like Costa Rica where we've got some deep relationships and we've got some real talented fighters that have already fought for us quite a few times from Costa Rica. Potentially, Colombia, Brazil. There's a lot of opportunities, but for us, I like the idea of going places where no one else has gone. We're the first major MMA promotion to go into Kazakhstan. The first one to take a show around the world and put it into 150 countries and to showcase that country. So, and there's a tremendous amount of talent there. That's the thing is we could identify potentially the next Khabib, the next superstar of the sport, and that would be great to bring them in, have them fight on our platform, and then make the call and be like, "Hey, boss, I got you to your next star," and Dana's going to be pretty happy about that. So. That's really kind of our philosophy on it. We're actively working on, where the next location will be. I anticipate we will have probably 2 international shows this year, for sure one more. But I could see us doing one. We're targeting one right now in June, towards the end of June. I could see us doing a second one sometime in Q4. This year. I think we're at the right place at the right time now for these international shows. Organizationally, we just signed a new deal with the UFC for a broadcast partnership deal. Our existing deal for another multi-year contract. So that's exciting stuff that gives us the opportunity, I think, to go out and to these new markets and say, listen, we're going to help showcase your market, your country, on this tremendous platform that the UFC and UFC Fight Pass provides.
So, Lex, besides expanding internationally and building the brand, which you've done so successfully, congratulations, you have another program that you're coming out with that's geared to grappling at Titan Fights. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. One of the kind of foundations or the tent poles of mixed martial arts is grappling in its many forms, whether it be jiu-jitsu, wrestling, whatever it may be. We looked at it and said, and I give my partner Jeff a lot of kudos because we were originally thinking about doing combat jiu-jitsu, and he's, what, it's a bit limiting. Let's match the best wrestler against the best jiu-jitsu player and add the kind of combat rule set associated with it. And we should get some exciting matches. And so, we've been playing with and talking to a lot of the folks. We're very fortunate that in the South Florida market where we're based, we have some of the best jiu-jitsu players in the world. We've got some tremendous wrestlers in Greg Jones and in Steve Mocco, who are coaches at Hard Knocks and American Top Team, respectively, who give us a lot of insight. Yeah. And so we're picking the brains of all these elite level kind of thinkers and participants and come up with a unique rule set. What you'll see from us is we'll debut the first 1 to 2 bouts on our March the 15th card. And then from there, we will do a full card following it up. Maybe it might be the April card, or maybe it'll be, the next card after that. We're still learning exactly what we're going to do with it in terms of the rules, and so we're getting that codified and put together. And again, we've been reaching out to all these tremendous talents that are in the area.
Yeah, there's a lot of great guys here.
There really are, and so
such good fighters here in South Florida.
Yeah, and I've been in the sport a long time, and so we've got the relationships to be able to reach out to kind of everybody and anybody. And so that's what we're doing. We're picking their minds. We're trying to come up with something that's really unique and has some cool rule sets associated with that are going to be exciting for the fans. And they're going to facilitate and encourage and incentivize finishes. So we'll see. But I'm excited that we're going to have our first bouts on the March 15th card.
That sounds awesome. I can't wait to see that. Before we go today, Lex, anything else you want to add?
I think that it's just I encourage folks to take a look at what we're doing at Titan Fighting. Take a look at our fights. Titan FC 52's tremendous night of fights coming up. That's on January 25th. UFC Fight Pass is a tremendous platform, and I sat down with them last year in 2018, and kind of talked about what some of the possibilities were, and then they started kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit for me to see what they were looking at and do. Man, they've signed some great.
They have.
And so kudos to them for doing that, because I think that they're bringing fight fans a tremendous value proposition for the $10 a month that it costs to, I think it's even less than if you commit to the full year. It's like $8 a month. But you can get Lechwe, you can get Muay Thai, you can get all the various grappling opportunities, the other MMA promotions. If your thing is just women MMA, you obviously Shannon Knapp and Invicta are doing tremendous things, and Fight Pass has it all. And I'm proud that Titan's a part of that offering, and I think one of the valued partners there. But check out the other partners, because there's a lot of cool stuff. And I'm Team Fight Pass all the way. I always have been. When Dana first launched it, with the UFC, over 3 years ago, we were with CBS Sports, but I called him up and I said, hey man, I know you guys are launching this thing. It seems like a good fit, because I've always believed, like, I never said I'm gonna go head to head with Dana White in the UFC. I don't have the bankroll for it, and I feel they've paved the trail. They've done a tremendous job. So I figured I want to be strategic partners with them. If I'm going to partner with somebody, I want to be partners with the 800-pound gorilla. And that's Dana and the UFC. And so we were able to put that deal together. And I called him up. He's like, I love it. Let's do it. 7 months later, negotiating.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I said, hey man, this deal's not going to get done if you don't help us and get involved again. And he said, yeah, okay. 6 weeks later, I was in Mexico City signing the deal. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I think that being part of the UFC and UFC Fight Pass is just a tremendous opportunity, and we bust our ass to be good partners and do a good job for them. So I encourage all of our fans and your fans, if they're not already on Fight Pass, to go check it out and check out the full array of product offering, because I think the Fight Pass team has done a tremendous job in putting it together.
Before we go today, Lex, can you also give us your social media handles, please, sir?
Yeah, no problem. I'm pretty easy. Twitter, it's at Lex McMahon MMA, and at Titan Fighting. And then the same thing for Instagram, it's at Titan Fighting. And then I'm just Lex McMahon on Instagram. We have our Facebook page, the Titan Fighting Facebook page. That's easy. But Instagram and Twitter are our two kind of main outlets that we focus our energy on. So definitely check us out there and check out some cool content.
Also, Must Love MMA fans, I want to remind you to stay tuned and keep your eye on my YouTube channel, because next week we'll be releasing part 2 of my interview with Lex, where we get into some personal questions, because every promoter has a story. Thanks so much for watching.